guys, we're Javi
and Joe. For those of you that are new here, we post all things travel related, from city guides to food tours, cost of living guides to travel vlogs, and everything in between. So consider subscribing.
For our friends and family that have been following along with us for a while now, making our way south, we hope you're staying safe, staying inside, and staying sane amongst all this craziness that's going on right now. So like many of you, we've been stuck inside for way too long and are itching for another adventure. So let's go ahead and do something about that, shall we?
Not feeling that one. How about that one?
Much better. I think this one calls for a beverage.
So, put us on the big screen, grab yourself a drink, and let's take a trip down memory lane to La Huasteca Potosina.
La Huasteca Potosina, to put simply, is an enormous water park in the eastern part of San Luis Potosi state. And it's filled with waterfalls, rivers, gorges, caves, anything you can think of. It's very popular amongst Mexican nationals, but it's yet to gain international attention like many of the beaches here in Mexico.
We spent over a week exploring the region, and because we know there are so many things to do and it can get a bit overwhelming trying to decide on what to do, we've compiled a list of the top 10 things to see in La Huasteca Potosina. So let's jump right in.
So guys, first off, it was really hard to narrow these down and to even list them because there's just so many awesome things to do there. So starting off our list with number 10 is Cascada El Salto del Meco. Though it is starting off our list at number 10, don't let it fool you, it's definitely worth checking out. This place is also referred to as El Mirador, or lookout point, of the waterfall with the same name. It's a viewpoint where you take in the beauty that is El Salto waterfall. Free of charge and easy to find, and the landscape is incredible. Multiple falls, all cascading beautifully into a river of turquoise waters. Take a moment just to take in the sound of the rushing water. If possible, try to catch a sunrise here, as it's an incredible sight as the sun begins to peek through the trees and light up the falls. Adventure tours such as rafting are also found here, so if you're the adventuring kind, it's definitely worth checking out.
Number 9, Cueva del Salitre. Located right outside the town center of Xilitla, is a trail that will lead you down to the massive cave. You can park in the lot off the main street, pay your 25 peso entrance fee, and begin your descent. As you make your hike down the trail, surrounded by nature, make sure you bring bug spray and good hiking shoes. Though it's not a difficult hike, the hike within the cave is very steep and can be slippery. It's a great spot to rock climb or simply hike down to the basement of the cave. The sheer size of the cave isn't truly felt until you reach the basement and look up. Its massiveness is impressive and worth taking a moment to appreciate. In the evenings, if you're lucky, you'll see swarms of green parrots circling in a sort of dance as they prepare to nest for the night.
Number 8, Tamosopo Waterfall. This one is probably the most touristy in the region, but it's also the most family friendly. The waterfall is run like a park with a parking fee of 50 per vehicle and an entrance fee of 80 pesos per person. It's also the most expensive to enter. There are ropes to swing from, multiple obstacle courses, picnic tables, restaurants, enough to enjoy that you could spend an entire day here. Some people will consider this a con. It seemed the most unnatural place that we visited. A lot of stuff was man-made. There was obstacle courses. The diving boards were made of concrete, so just come with adjusted expectations, but nonetheless, it's a beautiful waterfall.
Number 7, Minas Viejas. With an entrance fee of only 30 pesos per person, the colors here are insane. A great place to camp overnight or come for the day. If we were to visit again, we'd aim for camping on the grass right next to the waterfall. There are grills and seating if you want to plan a picnic while there, or simply come to enjoy the crystal clear blue waters. This has to be some of the clearest and bluest waters in the entire region. Getting in the water does require a life vest at all times. It was definitely cold when we jumped in, but tons of fun. You can swim to the waterfall and jump off of massive rocks, or you can even rappel down the waterfall if you're looking for a bit more adrenaline-filled fun.
Number 6, Sótano de las Golondrinas. This is yet another cave in the region, and it's actually designated as one of the 13 natural wonders of Mexico. About an hour and a half from the town of Xilitla, the 40 pesos you pay as an entrance fee is worth every peso. After a climb down 500 plus steps, you arrive at a viewpoint where you will witness a natural wonder that can't be explained. Sótano de las Golondrinas is the largest known cave shaft in the world. It is a natural refuge for thousands of white-colored swift and green parakeets. Every day at around 7 to 8 a.m., the birds begin to rise from the cave, flying in circles in a type of dance as they prepare to exit the cave in the most spectacular way possible. It's a daily event that you can't miss if in the area. It's a spectacle that happens both at sunrise and at sunset.
So we have reached the middle of our list. Number 5 is Edward James Surrealist Garden. There is nothing like it. Imagine a real-life Garden of Eden. Built between 1949 and 1984 by writer and surrealist art collector Edward James, he brought to life his vision of a real-life Garden of Eden. It's impossible not to walk through the garden in awe as you find yourself strolling down moss-covered paths with giant surrealist sculptures all around you, intertwined with the jungle. With an entrance fee of 100 pesos per person, avoid coming on weekends and holidays as it can get ridiculously packed. The best time to come is during the week, and try to get there about 8:30 so you're the first person in line.
Number 4, Cascada de Micos, and this one can only be described as pure fun. There's an entrance fee of 50 pesos per person. Camping here is a popular option as there is plenty of space. With multiple waterfalls running through the area, one of the most popular activities is waterfall jumping. You can buy a tour from the tour groups inside the park for about 200 pesos per person, and that equips you with a guide, life jacket, and helmet. You can also do rafting, or you can head up the street from the public entrance to do some zip lining and ride sky bikes with Adventureland. Or just relax and enjoy floating in the turquoise waters. There are a few restaurants, but our recommendation is to definitely grab a michelada at the Paraíso Huasteca stand.
Number 3, Media Luna. Media Luna gets its name from its shape. From above, this thermal spring looks like a crescent-shaped moon. It is also one of the very family-friendly spots, with tons of shallow areas for kids to swim around, grills and areas to cook out at. You can even camp here as well. Being a thermal spring, the water remains at a constant 82 to 89 degrees Fahrenheit, so it's enjoyable all year round. The main lagoon is perfect for snorkeling and even scuba diving. The visibility and lush vegetation make for a great beginner scuba diving lesson, but we thoroughly enjoyed spending our time free diving. The entrance fee is 40 pesos per person, but there are tons of amenities and things to do that you can easily spend a full day here.
We're getting close here. Number 2 is Puente de Dios. It's definitely one of the most popular things to do in the region, and at only 50 pesos per person, it's going to be full all the time. If you do arrive early, however, you will be able to enjoy it for a few hours without the large groups arriving at around 11 a.m. Because of the depth and strong current, it is mandatory to rent a life jacket. You can rent a life jacket from 20 to 30 pesos per person. With a massive waterfall at the center of the attraction, the current takes you through a cave to another pool of clear blue waters. If you get out of the pool and walk along the river bend further down, there's a slower current and the clearest waters we've ever seen. Here's your chance to relax and float the river. It's definitely worth getting away from the crowds of people to enjoy the peaceful waters. You can then head back and enjoy jumping off the rocks with everyone else. And we've arrived at number 1.
Number 1 is going to be El Salto Waterfall. This has got to be the most impressive place we've ever visited. This one is coming in at number 1 because it was our favorite one. There is no entrance fee since this is the most natural and untampered waterfall of them all. You can spend the day jumping off of ledges, floating in pools, and enjoying a pretty private experience. There seems to be no regulation whatsoever, so do be careful. It is the least family-friendly of them all, as there's no walking paths, current is pretty strong towards the middle, and there are no lifeguards. But the beauty of it all lies in the serene natural landscape. We've honestly never seen anything like it.
We know we're missing a few, and specifically a very big one that you're probably wondering why it's not on the list. Tamun Waterfall is probably one of the most iconic sites and waterfalls in all of Mexico, and we're super bummed that it didn't make the list, but we have a reason. It was completely dry and not a drop of water was running down the falls. When we went, there was absolutely no tours running. Though it was a good hike up, we didn't feel like we could do it justice by placing it somewhere on our list without having seen it in all its glory. So we left it off.
That's going to wrap up our list of the top 10 things to do in La Huasteca Potosina, but we are going to give you a couple tips. When to go. We did tons of research before our trip and found out that the best time to go is at the end of February or beginning of March, before Easter holiday.
With that being said, the earlier you go, such as February, March, you won't see the waters at their full potential like you do in the summer when the water is really flowing. But you do avoid vast amount of people, which you will find in the summer months and Holy Week, which is Easter.
We would recommend staying in either Ciudad Valles or Xilitla, or splitting your time between the two. Ciudad Valles will give you access to all the falls in the northern region, while Xilitla will make it easy for you to explore the southern region. We'll link where we stayed in Ciudad Valles and Xilitla below if you're interested in booking one of those places. We do have tons of more detailed videos on our YouTube channel if you want to check each one out.
We do have a playlist dedicated to all things that are Huasteca Potosina, so definitely check that out for more individual detailed information.
That's going to wrap up La Huasteca, but we have a couple really exciting things that we have planned and we're currently working on.
Since we've been practicing our sana distancia, aka social distancing, healthy distancing, we have reached the end of our current travels. But don't worry guys, we are going to be digging through our hard drives and making tons of new content.
They're basically going to follow the same format as this, a lot of top 10s and countdowns about previous travels, specifically through Southeast Asia and while we were living in China.
So we will be putting a pause on Mexico content for now, but we will give you guys updates along the way. But for now, stay tuned for content from the other side of the world.
So guys, that's going to be it for now, but if you did like the video, give it a like,
subscribe,
and hit the notification bell so you get messages every time we're going to post.
See you in the next one, guys. Bye.